So today, boys and girls, we already saw the video of the jellyfish and the way that they move using those tentacles that are all along the outside edge of the moon jelly's body and those longer frilly ones that kind of hang down depending on how much they want to eat. Now, this is me being a little bit silly with an umbrella because it reminds me of how the jellyfish move, how they like extend all the way out and where they're always pumping that water through their body in order to be able to move. And also that they have almost like those little spines coming out like an umbrella. Today, you are going to be drawing one based off of some of these that are inspiring, and that also the fact that they glow, which ours are going to be glowing as well. So you're going to be starting off with a white oil pastel, and you're going to be starting by doing that bell shape that's along the top. Then you're going to do those spines, just like we saw on the umbrella. This looks really ridiculous, but I think you get the idea of where it starts at the top and moves outward. This is something we have to remember, especially because you're painting something that's basically see-through, that if your paint strokes are going across, that's not going to look right. It has to be that it's following the edges of each of those, what you might call a spine, or when we think back to the umbrella, all of those little lines that come down from the top. So here I am taking the white oil pastel and I'm going over just to lay down a little bit of color. What's fun about this technique is that when we go and paint on top of it, it's going to allow your jellyfish to appear like it is see-through or translucent. Now, I'm actually adding this thing that I've noticed on jellyfish where it's almost like there's another bubble almost on top. And now I'm doing I'm 100 years old and I have a shaky hand technique to do the really long frilly ones. Now notice those things never really just hang straight down. They're always being taken by the water and just kind of woof, woof, going through the water. So you can have those going any direction you want. This line right here that I'm drawing is so simple to draw, and yet it makes such a huge difference because it's what's going to make your jellyfish look three-dimensional. Once you've got that bad boy done, you're just going to fill that in, and now you get to do the very wind in your hair, water going through the tentacles, going here and there lightly. We're starting doing it with white, but when we actually start to put in all the glow aspects, you're going to add up to like 100 of these things. Not straight, sticking out like a bad hair day, but just looking like they are just floating and moving with the water. Now, as for paint, you're going to have an idea sheet with tons of different ways that people have painted these in before. Don't overwork your little brain. Go ahead and look at their examples. See if you like it. If you don't, if you want to steal an idea. But if you get a big glob of paint, that is going to keep your jellyfish from looking see-through. So if that happens to you, just kind of scoop as much of it up so that you can have that look of it being very thinly painted. Now, I started with one color yellow, then I went into another one. You'll see that even on the example on the left that they have different colors of blues and purples and pinks. But notice that along that edge of kind of our umbrella, our bell, our jellyfish, however you want to think of it, they're never going straight across. Do not do that. You're always following those lines of how it actually grows, where it's coming out from the center and going out. Have I said it 1,000 times? Yes. Are people still painting straight across? Yes. So I really want it to be that you remember to have your brush strokes going in that direction, just like this one as well. So once you have that initial thing done, you can go back over theirs with different colors. I've had kids who feel like their jellyfish almost looks like a blob of color, and then they go and, like in this case, maybe they go into the blue or maybe they go into green, something a little different. And when they go back over those first lines that they drew, oh my goodness, the whole thing comes to life. It looks awesome. So once you've done that, just know that you can always lay on more colors. Here I went into the green and the little yellow, and look at me twirl my brush as I'm doing that. I want it to look really organic, just like all of those jellyfish look. Eventually, I'm going to be turning off our big lights and putting on the UV lights where you can fill in the bottom inside part of your jellyfish. You can come with that detail brush and you can add little delicate little details. Here I'm adding in blue and it's almost making like a purple. Now I'm taking those fluorescent oil pastels and putting on so many tentacles. Oh, in different colors. It is going to look fabulous. When you're done, you can even add little dots. What you do is simply take the back of the paintbrush and dip it into the paint, and it just makes never-ending awesome big dots at the beginning and then smaller. It's so yummy and delicious and easy. Again, I'm going to have the idea sheets on the table. When you sit down, you might want to think, do I want 2 jellyfish? Might it be that I just have it one going to the left? Or maybe even having your paper portrait or landscape. Here, this one's going to the right. This one is where there's one, and then there's another one that's going right out the corner of the paper. That's kind of fun. This one, notice how they use the dots, even in their background, to just give little air bubbles back there. And this one to just show a little bit of movement. So quick with that little back of the paintbrush technique. And here's someone put actual air bubbles. You can do that by drawing them with the white oil pastel, and then you just go back over them with the glow paint in the end. When you sit down, you've already got this right there, all the steps for doing your jellyfish. But remember, before you just start drawing your first sad face, that bell, think about what direction you want to have your paper go, if you want to have 2. But basically, those are the steps for how to draw it. I don't have anything left to say to you. You're going to do a great job. Have fun.